Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and boy, there's a lot to show you today. And then in my group at the end of this, in my private group, the members only, like the 80s members only jacket, we're going to talk about what's really going on, the things I can't talk about on social media. Now, this is something I've felt for a long time, what this Ido Farina guy's saying. Ripple's escrow account is going to be controlled by a global organization like BIS, IMF, Fed, in my opinion. This show could be orchestrated, well, he's saying that it would be all the world's a stage. This show could be orchestrated to actually end the escrow account and take control of XRP. Treasury taking control over the remaining XRP escrow makes XRP extremely scarce. XRP needs a high price to operate. It really does not matter if it's the IMF or the Fed or whatever that takes control of XRP. Either way, XRP holders win, with or without Ripple. And this guy says, few understand this. It's a done deal. Well, I don't know what's a done deal, but I've always felt like this escrow in the end was pre-allocated, or somebody is going to be in control of it, even if they take it. Now, speaking of escrow, it reminds me of something that was said, I believe this was back during, the SEC versus Ripple case. This is me covering something that Jeremy Hogan had said. I'm sorry, this was a thread going on. I'm sorry, since we were talking doom and gloom, I have added the possibility of an injunction against Ripple from selling XRP. What having the entire escrow effectively locked up, what having the entire escrow effectively locked up by the government means, I don't know. And he goes on, the injunction would apply to Ripple Labs, which the court has jurisdiction over because it's a U.S. company. Very interesting little tweet there, isn't it? Now, there's tons of Bitcoin ETF buzz, and remember, the government created Bitcoin and wants you to believe they don't know who Satoshi is. So that's the backdrop to all of this.
Like the SEC is going to be forced to approve a spot Bitcoin ETF. What, if any, communications have you had with the SEC about your application? Where are we in this whole thing?
Well, it was publicized and disclosed. I think it was last week that we had responded to the SEC's request for information around our Bitcoin filing, and we responded. And that's basically all we can say. I think many people think the fact that the SEC chose to ask questions is a change in behavior. And therefore, I do think hopes are rising that a number of Bitcoin ETFs will be approved.
Yeah, my understanding is the court now is going to issue a mandate about how to enforce their decision here to the SEC, and their SEC is going to basically follow that mandate. Everybody is assuming at this point that they'll probably approve most of the Bitcoin ETFs by the end of the year. Is that's a reasonable assumption at this point? They lost the court case. They chose not to appeal it at this point.
Right. And I do believe maybe the reason they're saying by the end of the year, early next year, I know our final deadline on this filing is January 10th. And so, and I think we're first in line. But as you say, a number of Bitcoin ETFs could be approved at the same time.
All right. Now, against this backdrop, you need to understand there's $1.09 trillion in the entire market. There's $553 billion in Bitcoin. All right. Look at this. $4.5 trillion Fidelity filed an updated version of its spot Bitcoin ETF after SEC feedback. But then you have this. former director of BlackRock, is projecting a $300 billion inflow into Bitcoin market in the first year of ETF's existence. So imagine the impact this will have on a market with only 1.8 million available Bitcoins for purchase. So imagine that, $300 billion. Right now it's got $553 billion. What does that do? What that does, folks, is it turns on the entire market, period. It'll turn on, it'll be on like Donkey Kong, not just for Bitcoin, for all of it. Now, yesterday, John Deaton did a live Twitter, I think these are both attorneys, Scott Melker and Sam Lyman. Listen to what they said here.
Sam, you made the best point, like talking about BlackRock, Fidelity, these are huge players that are looking to get an approval of a Bitcoin spot ETF. Larry Fink was on TV yesterday and said that crypto, didn't say Bitcoin, he actually said crypto is a flight to quality alongside US Treasuries and gold, and that's what it's going to be viewed as. People seem to have missed in the fact that they applied for a Bitcoin spot ETF, that in their last yearly investment letter, Larry Fink and BlackRock went on a very long tirade about the future of finance being tokenization and tokenizing assets and everything trading digitally. We just saw BlackRock settle the first transaction on JP Morgan Onyx, which was a tokenized mutual fund sent to Barclays Bank. This is happening with or without the SEC, and these players are more powerful than the SEC. Some people say, there's a joke that it's the judicial, executive, and legislative branch of the United States, and that the fourth one is BlackRock. I would just say that BlackRock's all four of them. Right? one way or another. And so when you have Larry Fink, who, in my opinion, is a much more powerful and reputable person than Gary Gensler, on TV calling Bitcoin and crypto a flight to quality, you know that this is inevitably coming. But as to your question.
Well, you also know that this has all been planned, folks. This is a government and a major Wall Street business plan that you're watching being initiated right now. Nobody else is going to say that. Well, maybe Brad Combs might say it. Everybody else is going to pretend like it's not so, but they're just wrong. Black Swan Capitalists might tell you the truth on this. Now, I don't know if this is a real report or not. It sure is interesting, though. Leaked confidential report reveals that financial giants BlackRock and JP Morgan have been quietly accumulating XRP. Here it says the leaked report, which appears to have come from an anonymous insider within JP Morgan, reveals that the banking giant has quietly accumulated more than 7.5% of its total wealth in XRP. This is a significant revelation as it shows JP Morgan's confidence in the potential of XRP as a long-term investment. It's worth noting that JP Morgan has not officially confirmed this report, adding an element of intrigue to their involvement with XRP. Here's the deal, folks. Even if this is fake, I do think that JP Morgan has accumulated a lot of XRP. I don't know if it's 7.5% of their wealth. I think Goldman Sachs has too. I think BlackRock has too. I can't prove any of that, but I think that they know what we know and some. And I also know that the head of digital assets at BlackRock happens to be Robbie Mitchnick, and he was swallowed up like a BlackRock hole. Okay? I think I just created a term. Black hole, BlackRock hole. Here, let's write that down. That's a thumbnail. Black Rock hole. Swallowed Ripple's Robbie Mitchnick, who is the only person in the world who, besides Susan Athey, who has done what the crypto police consider the only legitimate valuation of XRP. They did an XRP valuation, and because Robbie was at Ripple and because Susan Athey's on the board of directors at Ripple, this is the only valuation that is considered to be legitimate. It doesn't matter how smart you are, what your credentials are. You are not allowed to do an evaluation of XRP unless you are those people. Ask Jimmy Valley. Okay, moving along. Eleanor Terrett, the House Financial Services Committee, Financial Committee, FSC Dems have announced a hearing for next Tuesday, October 24th, entitled Examining the SEC's Agenda, Unintended Consequences for U.S. Capital Markets and Investors. No word on witnesses yet. Oh, some more questions and being mean to Gary in public, and maybe send a letter or two or an email, and that's about it. The SEC the other day tweeted this out. Careful what you read on the internet. The best source of information about the SEC is the SEC. And David Schwartz put out the tweet of the year. Awesome. Does the SEC think people selling Ethereum on exchanges are selling securities? I'd like to hear from the best source. And they can't answer it and won't answer it. Remember Cointelegraph that put out the fake news about Bitcoin ETF being approved? Turns out Cowboy Crypto, who is the official cowboy of the Digital Asset Investor channel, has found out that Cointelegraph's CEO is also CNBC and ex-host for Hobie, who is proven to be linked to the we can't say that here. We'll save that for the private group. I'm not gonna say any more here. I'm just gonna let you look, okay? Because we're not allowed to say these things. Now, if you wanted to ever know, look, I don't know if this is true or if this is a meme, but if you ever, just the fact that the meme's been created, Disney, Pixar, and FTX movie, folks, just the fact that there's a meme, this is all, this FTX, the timing of it, you got Bitcoin ETF at the same time. If you don't think all of this is manipulation and these people trying to sell you on a narrative, just write it down. This is from Zero Hedge. SBF used customer funds to donate to Democrats through straw donor scheme, former FTX engineer testified. Now, folks, people on YouTube, this is where I leave you, because what I just showed you is the narrative that you're going to see out in social media. This is what all of you are allowed to see. But what I'm about to show the people in the members only group is I'm going to show you how everything ties in. I'm going to show you SBF. We're going to talk about the island guy. We're going to talk about that country with the red flag that starts with a C and ends in an A. We're going to talk about the Ethereum founders and where they fall into all that mix. Because you know what I think? I think that maybe 99% of everything you've seen in crypto to this point was for the purpose of money laundering. And I think that the legit stuff hasn't even been seen yet. And I'm going to talk about that in my private group. And by the way, my private group is at daixrp.com. I intentionally made it like almost cost nothing, $6, because like the cost of a cup of coffee, one cup of coffee. And I did that because I want everybody that's been listening to me for all these years. I've accumulated 5 years of knowledge. I literally started this journey like everybody else. Oh, Bitcoin, down with the man, libertarian. Yeah. And then I learned a few things. Okay? Make no mistake, folks. When you enter the membership zone, or as we say, the danger zone, we're going to talk about what's really going on. daixrp.com. I'm a digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family. None of this was some libertarian movement, anti-government movement. That's just what they wanted you to think it was, to suck you into the system. Thank you for listening.